Hello, everyone. Thanks for hanging out on the show right now on this beautiful Saturday with some little bit of rain. And I gotta turn my light on, so give me 1 second. Sorry. And here we are doing a random show, man. Hanging out with a couple buddies. You'll see them shortly. And it is called Blind Read the Blind Daredevil Book Club, man. You're probably wondering, what is this all about? Well, we just grab a random Daredevil book and we'll talk about it, give our thoughts and reviews or whatever. And we can't do it alone without a couple people from the comic book community. So let's get right to it. We have, of course, our buddy
How you
Sipping
doing?
Old Wolf 65 in the house, man. What is going on, sir? How you
Not
doing?
much, not much. How are you doing, Ron?
Doing good, just pushing forward, just hanging in there. I got my book to the side. I pulled it out. I know you guys got your books, but we
Yep.
we can't we can't do the show alone, man.
No. Are we supposed
We
to show
have
the book? Are we waiting? What one? You look much better in the light. You really do. You
well,
look
thank
much
you.
better in the light,
I,
yes.
I I feel a lot better in the light. Show off my DD shirt the best I can.
Oh,
But
I
we
got
we, we, we can't have the show without another Daredevil fan, man. We're gonna bring in right now our homie. Everybody knows him as well as Old Wolf. We have none. Man, this is spring, man. The slow person.
Sorry, I was just busy. I was getting something ready.
Okay, show's over.
There it is. Look, he's like the. I got the red. What do you like? Red or yellow? I got him. I got them both. Hey, happy Daredevil Day, everybody. We're having our little Daredevil hangout, and I have a ton of Daredevil stuff. And I thought, yeah, let's
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 do
start
some
Ron for
unboxing.
life.
Look at this guy. This guy's awesome. He looks killer. He's legit. I think it's legit the same mold with different coloring.
Probably. Does it have a
Like-
Billy Bat?
Yes, and it's the same, and it's a different color, but it's the same material. Looks like it's identical. So now I got twinsies. How you doing, Rod? You doing all right there? I've been such a troll the last 2 times I've been on YouTube between Tony's show and this one. Just a troll.
Yeah, you know how much you got me in trouble last night?
You
Trying to
do
get out of
realize
there.
you have the power to leave a stream at any point. I was
know,
I was
that's-
I was pulling the Edwin move of like getting Rod talking and then see if he'll just stay, and then hey, it worked.
Yeah, but I can't just like. It was rude. Then when you hopped off, I was like, oh, I can go now and see them.
So there you go. I got 2 Daredevils now. Yo,
It's not a cane. It's supposed to be a cane.
well, it's supposed to like separate it to 2, right? So you're
Right.
like you can separate it.
Wow, that's how we kick off the show, huh?
Unboxing.
With a freaking Daredevil messed up.
I don't keep them in the packages, Rod. I'm sorry, I'm not that guy. When I come to your house, I'll unbox a couple for you. I'll take
Oh,
a
that'd be
couple off
Whoa,
the shelf.
yeah. No.
That'd be so awesome.
See, look, it's
No.
2 batons. See, he's got both.
I miss the old Billy Bat. You know, when I read, I read this for the show.
Uh-huh.
I missed the old Billy Bat, the cane that came apart and had different things in it,
And it had like a hook on one end.
yeah, and had a rope in it so he could.
I think it just evolved into being a long cane that did all the same things, just because it's got the rope between them. You know, he can separate it and reconnect it. So here it is connected as one piece,
Right.
and then here it is as 2 pieces, and then he's got the little leg like holster.
Yellow all the way, man. Yellow all the way.
Yellow all the way.
Yes, sir.
I'm fine with all of it, and I got my shirt on. I'm geared up. I'm
I don't
ready
think I
for this.
own a Daredevil shirt, so I.
So I got this from Morbius Comics' t-shirts, Teespring or whatever he's got. He somehow, I don't know how he did this. This shirt's phenomenal. It's like a Klaus Janson cover. It's gorgeous. So I was like, wow, I'm definitely getting that.
Cool. Sweet.
So this all started because Rod is a nutso super Daredevil fan, and he's like, "What? We should talk Daredevil at some point." I did a random like flip through of all my Daredevil books that nobody really talks about, the non-key issues.
Yep.
And I thought, let's just do something. So I did a random pull Friday, and I ended up with I don't know why I'm on. Yeah, this book. And then you guys pulled a comic each. I think I've got the oldest one, right? So I got issue 70. Rod, what do you got?
18.
I got 12.
So there you go. So we got 3 different issues.
I got that one too.
So you guys are Silver Age and I'm Bronze, or Copper. I guess I'm Bronze. Yeah. So mine is a 15 center. What do you got? How cheap were you guys?
Well, these are 12s.
12 centers.
Yeah, 12 here.
There you go.
You know, this references X-Men 10.
Oh, because that's the Savage Lands and Kazar. Nice. Well, you got some folks in the chat, Rod. You want to say some howdy hays?
Yes, sir.
Justin.
Do it right now, man. We got Kev in the house. What's going on, Intervening Comics? How you doing? Thank you for hanging out with us right now on this random show. We have the closer, man. Yo, what is going on? No Good Comics, man. Congratulations on your marriage, man. Well deserved. It was about damn time, too, man. So we got glitter and duct tapes.
What's happening, Crystal?
How you doing, my dear? We have none other than part of the Four Horsemen, but in other names, Perry Comics. What is going on?
He is a he is a Daredevil hater.
Yeah, he's a big Daredevil fan for sure.
It's hater.
Man.
You can say it. We can say hater. It's fine. It's we don't have I don't like what's his guy, the Lobo. I don't like Lobo. Hard pass on Lobo. So everybody's got their thing. When I go to Perry's house, my job is to shred a Lobo book. Nobody would notice because they're not worth anything and nobody's hunting for them, but that's what happens.
Well, I gotta hear. I guess if anyone wants to come over and shred a Lobo book,
Now I got 2 jobs to do at Rod's house when I go to Rod's house.
We'll actually bring a barrel and a shredder, and we'll do it.
Holy cow, Perry! There's an emoji for a blind man with a cane. They have emojis for everything.
Perry, if you want to jump on and just
he does
hang
not.
out,
he does
man.
not. No,
come on, Perry. You can help. Critique the book.
He can provide some commentary.
Yeah.
All right, gang. This is it, man. This is the first episode. And who knows what's going to be next, man. Blind reading, the Blind Daredevil Book Club. Man, we just pulling out books from our short box, long box, and we're just going to talk about the books that we picked up from the short box or long box.
Three blind men right here. We all got our glasses on.
Hold on. Let me get out.
Blind men.
I'll be right back.
Good one. And,
I don't need to let my intrusive thoughts out this early in the day.
I
love it.
Good Lord, Perry, man.
Honestly, it just this totally throws me the vibes of remembering being with you guys and Edwin, making fun of every D&D, every Daredevil book that Rod will pick up. So good.
Oh man,
Mr. Magoo knows kung fu. That's what Edwin would describe Daredevil as. Mr. Magoo does kung fu. So fun.
So you finished with you unboxing stuff?
Well, so I can do the other book if you want, or we can get into our books. What do you want to do?
Let's get into the books. Who wants to go first, man?
I'll roll. I'll go first.
All right.
Mine's the newest book on the list here. I'm going with issue 70. I read it digitally because my copy is really nice and I don't want to mess it up. I just randomly pulled it out of my my short box. This was an incredibly political comic. I just want to say, for anybody who tells you like, "Oh, you want to put me in the big screen?" Sorry.
Yeah. Let me.
Looks like Tony wants to blow it up a little bit. Mostly because Tony and I are huge Gene Colan fans, and this is Gene Colan art, and Gene Colan is my favorite, I think, Daredevil artist. I just really love what he does. But a very political comic. For people that tell you, "Oh, I wish comics weren't so political." Holy cow! Like there are legit pages out of this book that are like, "Oh, those commie pinkos," and "I'm a patriot," and this is what patriots stand for, and it's wild. It is wildly political. The era that this came out in was 1970, and basically it was right after the Chicago 7, where there was the Chicago Convention Center with the incredible riots that occurred there, and the people that got injured and died, and then the trial that occurred the following year, where 7 members of the protesters were put on trial. This book definitely plays on that history, the history of the Chicago 7. If you want to see a great movie on it, I think it's called the Trial of Chicago 7. It's on Netflix. Aaron Sorkin did a great job writing that. But in this story, what we get is let's see here, a new villain called the Tribune, and he's believe it or not, he is a Hollywood actor who's incredibly conservative and basically decides he's going to start punishing people that don't live up to his conservative ideals. So we start with Karen Page at a it's not really a movie premiere, but it's like a Hollywood Boulevard shindig thing on the streets, and the hot actor of the day is this gentleman, the cowboy here, called Buck Ralston, and Buck is talking about how, conservative values and what he stands for and the important things and getting rid of those. He says pinkos, and meanwhile you got Karen who's like having doubts. She's like, this seems a little out there. This guy seems a little intense. But her agent's like, no, you got to make nice. You want to be on this guy's movie sets. You'll make a lot of money. He comes over and he says, hey, do you like my speech? And she's like, well, no, I'm going to tell it like it is. Karen Page lays into this guy and basically says, I don't know that I like what you're standing for. Then he's like, it's all right, sweetheart. You come over to my house for an audition later or something. And he jumps in his car and he's got cronies in there with guns. And he's like, all right, guys, you keep an eye on her because she could be a pinko. We got to get rid of them and do what's right. Right, boys? Like, it's legit. This is legit, like, out there, political, like, straight up political comic. And it's almost like the writer and artist know it, because the next panel is finally Daredevil in New York swinging through the skies. And it says, but while an aging movie star waxes political philosophy, let's shag 3,000 miles east and get in the somewhat more stimulating scene of a certain man without fear doing his thing high above the rooftops of New York. It's like, sorry for that. I know you paid your money to see Daredevil, but I had to say a statement. So Daredevil's in New York. He's flying all around, and he's hearing about how the vice president's in town, and there's an event downtown, and he's swinging along, and then he gets to his house, and Karen calls him, and she's not ready to come back now that she knows he's Daredevil. She's learned the truth. She's flown off to Hollywood to get away from him, and he wishes she'd come back, but she won't. Then, of course, he gets a call from his law partner, and he's like, no, there's something going on downtown with the president. You got to get down there. And just as he's arriving, the police and the people who are protesting the vice president getting in a big scuffle, very Chicago 7-esque. A bomb goes off in the middle of the city, a huge explosion. We get Walter Cronkite, and Walter Cronkite is narrating the events on the scene, and he's saying, this is Walter Cronkite speaking to you from just outside the New York Hilton Hotel, where a bomb has just exploded in the middle of police and several hundred protesters. You didn't expect that. You didn't expect performances. Pretty good. Yeah. I didn't know. Meanwhile, we've got our villain watching on TV, very smug. He's got cross eyes. I don't know what's going on with his eyes there, but he's smoking his stogie, and he's very happy with what's going on because he is now going to reveal that he has a secret villain identity, and his cronies are out around Hollywood collecting people for him to judge. And now they've got this kid, and the kid is homeless, and he's basically mooching off of society, and they judge him to the living death, and they blast this poor kid. So the book is really jumping back and forth. Daredevil stops a second bombing and barely escapes without getting blown up. That's the best fight stuff. You get him fighting a couple of bombers in and around New York. The whole thing is just quite hilarious, and again, built on the tumult of Chicago and what was going on there with the convention, what happened with the riot at the convention. In the end, the Daredevil swings back home and he's thinking about Karen and what she's going through. And the Tribune is saying, you know, what we've done is just the beginning. We need to clearly continue cleaning up the city. And it all kind of sets up the sequel. The second half is issue 71, where it's going to be Daredevil battling the Tribune. So there you go.
Cool. Sweet, man.
So old school 70s comic, definitely a lot of slang, kind of like you'd get in ASM in those same era. Love the Gene Colan art. Gene Colan just slays it, but I laughed the whole way through because it's fun to look back at politics 80 years later or 60 years later and be like, okay, like it's interesting where it was at, but it's also funny because in retrospect, if they made a comic like this today, people would be freaking out. This comic is so political. Comics all woke propaganda. It's like, holy cow. This was straight, like this was the plot. Like it was right there on the surface. 1970. Let's get into it.
and now you mentioned all that stuff. You could go back to Captain America and the whole Nazi stuff.
Yep,
totally. It's a different level, man.
Yeah. And talk about the writers of that early Golden Age Captain America, Jewish refugees hoping to encourage people going to war for their country. So trying to create something of a comic book propaganda machine to encourage American inclusion in that war. So it's interesting political bent, and clearly the writer and artist had a feeling about conservative politics versus liberal politics at that time, because the villain is clearly the conservative politic character, and Karen is clearly the liberal side.
All right, man.
Very good.
That's John. He brought to the game right now, man, and we're gonna see right now in the chat what's going on, man. Let's see what we got going on in the chat. Let's just put everybody here. And we have No Good Comics. He's just the closer. He's just laughing. We got Triple G in the house. What is going on, my brother, from right across the pond?
Peter's good. He's good people, man. You guys got to check out his channel if you haven't.
No, I do.
Yep. We got Kenneth Bird in the house. How are you doing, sir? Hope you're doing well on this Saturday afternoon. We had Alfred. I'm gonna say.
I think it's Alfred Page.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody! Creator of. Yeah. He just jumped on out to the ago. Road Torch Bad Roads, issue number 1 here. How is your day? We're hanging out, man. You're hanging out. If you want to promote your book, let us know. We got the links in the description below. Reach out to John, Tony, myself, and we can help you out and do whatever we can do, man. And let's see.
Rod's trying to make this a weekly show. I don't know that we'll be able to make it happen weekly, but certainly I've got enough Daredevil books. I can do a quick flip through these books anytime to do this again.
Yeah.
It could be 10 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever. And then whatever. And kudos to John. He was the one that dropped the idea for us to do this. So,
this is very true, Crystal. This is very true.
It is. And look at Daredevil on the side just hanging out.
He's the Kingpin. That's one of my favorite issues or arcs, I should say, from the Bendis run. When you see Daredevil become the Kingpin of New York, I love that pose. That's him sitting in the throne right there. He's the Kingpin.
Hey. Yeah, of course I can send a review. Yeah.
All right. Before we get to the next book, we're just saying hello to everyone that's hanging out with us right now. No Good Comics, Justin. Yo, what's up, man? He's saying hello to Kenneth. We got the comic collector in the house. What is going on? What is oh good lord. I see Perry's coming. Let's see what I just got soap in my eye and couldn't see.
So good. It's so good.
Thank you, Perry. Thank you.
Ooh. You know what? Peter, I totally agree. I think he's talking about the final issue of Zdarsky's run, and I'm going to do an unboxing at some point right here because that guy right there hooked me up with a book that I could not find. So very excited for that.
There you go.
All right, man. Here we are doing blind and hanging out with the gang, doing the Daredevil book club, and we'll find out what's going to happen. When's the next show, and we'll figure it out one way or the other. But
all right, who's going to read next though? Who's got their next book?
I'll go.
Let's go.
All right, blow them up. Blow them up.
Blow me up.
Let's
blow me
do
up
it
before you go.
The dose and tones of doing.
Can I do this? I don't know if I can do this.
I
can't use the other camera, so I can have to.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You'd have to like set something different up.
Yeah. Okay. But it's just this camera. This thing's so fragile. All right. So what I'm doing here is Daredevil 12, and this is the first appearance of the Plunderer.
We got 3 first villain appearances. Is that what happened here?
So, and this is also, this is Kirbyot. Stanley did the writing, Kirbyot, and it's also John Romita Sr. They for a while they did a couple books together.
I was gonna say because I have the first time Romita drew Spider-Man was on that issue 17 or 16 of Daredevil, and I have that book. That's a great book, and yeah, of course, Romita, so great.
And he also did the ink on this one. So,
ooh, nice.
So how am I going to do this?
Ooh, nice. Okay.
Show off.
There you go. All right. So this thing starts out as a soap opera. Karen and Foggy, they're together. And so Matt feels jilted. She's saying that you couldn't see the love in my eyes. So and then he's saying, "Oh, I wish she loved me the more as much as I loved her." So he feels the best thing for him to do is to go on a cruise and to get everything
as Daredevil.
No, yeah, well, the reason why is because he only has 5 minutes after all this time he's sulking and pity and all that stuff. He realizes he only has 5 minutes to get to the cruise ship, which is on the other side of the city. So he feels the best way to get there is dress up as Daredevil
and then swing across the city.
Yes, and
I mean, probably getting a cab is probably going to be harder. So
yes, and he's so happy that all his clothes are wrinkle free because he has to put them all in a satchel.
Yeah, that's how you keep your clothes nice and wrinkle free. You shove them into a bag and then swing through the city carrying them.
Exactly. So and through the whole thing, it is a countdown: 4 minutes, 3 minutes, whatever. So and all that, he's loving it. He's got the wind in his face, and he feels free because he's swinging around. And
I love this.
Okay, so he ran out of buildings, so he had to land on cars. What would happen if cars took off?
Yeah, he's doing the Jean-Claude Van Damme there.
Yeah, he's gonna rip something more than a suit.
Yeah.
I mean, a couple of tendons or something. I don't know. Anyways, so he gets there with 1 minute to spare, to the point where they're ready to go, but they stop the ship because they have Matt coming up on, and of course, he looks blind, so everybody's like, "Oh,
they feel bad for him."
Yeah, they feel bad for him.
I love it.
And so a person asks, "Is this safe? Is this ship safe from the plunderer?" And Matt's going, "I thought that was a myth, but it isn't. There's the plunderer.
He's like a pirate?
He's a pirate on a schooner. Arrgh. He's on a plunderer on a schooner, but it's a schooner with modern. It's got a friggin' cannon over here. and it just comes out of the bottom of the floor. And he starts shooting, and people are screaming. Look, it's a schooner. Say it's a schooner. And Matt goes, I can hear. It has to be a schooner because I can hear the wind in the sail. But it's bigger. It's faster. And so he's saying there's something wrong with that thing. Anyways, so they hop on the ship. He's fighting all of them. Bang, bang, boom. They got laser guns. And so
what?
Yeah, they got laser guns.
I saw the T-Rex on the next page.
Oh yeah, I that's on the ship. Then it cuts to Savage Island.
Okay.
So Kazar, it was a Kazar and Zabu. So now there's a T-Rex there that he wants to tame. So he thinks he can just hop on it with a vine and ride it out
like a cowboy. He's gonna cowboy this, okay.
But it fails. It's too strong and its brain is too small, and he failed. But he's going to do it. So all of a sudden he hears a noise, and he goes to the side of the river, and there are the swamp people. The swamp people are coming, and they're breaking his law that they want to take over Skull Island. I guess that's where he hangs. I don't know.
Isn't that where King Kong hangs?
I don't know. Maybe. Right. Skull and everything.
I don't know. I'm just trying to keep track here.
They're attacking that. And then they go back to Daredevil. Thus, the wearing wave, do this upside down.
You're trying to read upside down. That's impressive.
Web of fate draws ever closer as we return to the... I don't know, some cruise.
You could just tell us. So the boat is drifting towards the Savage Land potentially.
Well, right now it's in the middle of the ocean.
Okay. I'm skipping ahead. I'm sorry.
Yes. Wow. So please. Okay. So all right. So the fight, but the plunder says stop. He puts the crew on the plank. If stop, or they're going to walk the plank onto. And get this: the sea is shark infested. It's always shark infested. I don't know how they know that, but it's shark infested. He says, okay, he gives up. So they take Daredevil and put it on the schooner, and they take off. They didn't steal anything. They didn't do anything. Well, everybody's safe. But he was so impressed of Daredevil. He was the prize. He took him on. He put things. And all this, and then he wants him to join his crew. And Daredevil says no. And he says, okay, we're going to go to our hideout. And you have until that time to make a decision, or we're going to kill you. So, when Daredevil gets on the ship, it's all electronic. To the point where there's a guy who pulls a lever, and the ship becomes a submarine. The masts fall down, things high come down, and the thing gets enclosed. And now it's a submarine, and now they're going to sail to.
So he's like a pirate, and he's Captain Nemo together.
Yes. And you find out the guy's electronic genius, and he comes from money and all that stuff. And okay, so
he does have a Tony Stark thing going.
Yeah, he's big. He's a big guy.
Got the mustache. He just needs the Van Dyke portion. That's all.
Yeah.
Bit.
So the Savage Lands are in Antarctica. So
yeah,
and he says he found it while he was looking for Atlantis. So he went to it. So yeah. So now they're going to the Savage Lands, a.k.a. Skull Island. Okay, so now here's when everybody comes together. Okay, so now Kazar is seeing the sub, and there's his buddy, and they go and they say, oh, the swamp people are attacking my island, so I have to get rid of. So we have to go to shore, take all our plunder and everything, put it on the. Well, they didn't get any plunder, but anyways, put it on the shore, and then
they got a superhero.
Yeah, and Kazar comes in, starts fighting, and he takes Daredevil as a bad guy, and they stop fighting, and Kazar knocks out Daredevil, hits him right in the head, takes him out.
Wow. I mean, in Kazar's defense, though, he does dress like a big red devil. Like you wouldn't assume he's necessarily the good guy.
Yes. Oh, I forgot to tell you. He tells his line that he's lonely because of the people he met during the X-Men 10 issue. So that's how they reference that.
Okay, so we're deep in the Silver Age here.
Oh yeah. So all right, they're doing the fighting, he's jumping in. Cat's jumping in. So the plunderers stop. He's going to shoot him with a laser gun, but he throws a rock at him, hits him in the shoulder.
Sounds like this is a really good Khazar issue.
Yeah, the laser gun goes sideways and shoots all his ammunition that he piled up on the beach. So there's explosions and there's letter bombs going all over the place. So during this, Daredevil wakes up and he realizes he doesn't have his radar anymore. He's totally blind.
Uh-oh, that hit to the head.
That hit to the head. That's all you have to do now is hit him in the head. Anyways, and he gets a little piece of shrapnel. It gets shot with some shrapnel. Khazar says like, "Oh well, he's in an outfit that reminds me of the X-Men, so I'm going to save him." So now he goes into the fire. He gets him, brings him to his cave, and he says, "Oh, he's really hurt. And there's only one thing to do. We have to get some juju berries to cure him." So he leaves Zabu there with him, and he goes hunting for juju berries. But there's a massive killer plant in front of it. So now he's going to fight the killer plant to get the juju berries.
Okay, so who doesn't Khazar beat up in this issue? It seems like
Everybody.
Khazar's kicking everybody's butts now. He beat Daredevil, beat the Swamp People, beat the Plunderer, and now he's beating the monster.
He's got a say, and I can't see where it is.
He just the only thing he can't do is ride a dinosaur, apparently.
No, but he rides the tiger.
I don't want to know about their side quest.
He rides the tiger. Okay, anyways, he's like He-Man. He even dresses like He-Man. He's just
He does.
He does. That's it. Okay, and so
they're the juju berries.
You heard right. You heard okay, it. So he gets in a fight with the living plant, the killer plant. It gets him coiled up in its leaves or something, its tentacles, and he calls the lion, and that leaves Daredevil by himself. And what comes around? The last survivor of the Mangor. Oh no, it's Mangor, the last of the deadly 8 men.
Oh no!
And that's how it ends.
Oh, cliffhanger.
I know. I got the number 13 next time if you
can finish the storyline.
Yeah. And there you go. Was it exciting?
I mean, Kirby artwork. As much as I'm a Gene Colan Daredevil guy, it's hard to beat that Kirby too. I mean, Kirby's good.
But wasn't that exciting?
Thrilling.
Did I make it look like you were there?
Daredevil was like
a
passenger in a great Khazar story.
Yeah.
I'll even put it in a new bag. There you go.
Yeah, don't you need to go boot it up?
I don't have to scan it. It's already been scanned. I'm just gonna get it back.
That one's already in it. Okay.
Yeah, but I did scan a whole bunch of books I picked up though. Well, I got more to do too.
Peter says, "I think I need the old dog to read all my comics to me now." I love it.
You got to put that comment. There it is.
The old dog.
See, this is fun. This is kind of what I was hoping for this show. It's just like these books are supposed to be fun and funny and kid stuff, So like getting a chance to go and read these and laugh at them with each other, that's the best part about this.
Well, you might gonna laugh when I tell you this one.
Uh-oh.
When I randomly picked up issue 18 of Daredevil.
Ooh.
First Gladiator.
Randomly, I just went through my box. I just went to the front, pulled it out, and we got the first appearance of Gladiator. All right, and not only that, as I was reading this and making a few notes, man, it's the origin story of him too. But the thing that really I was shaking my head. I'm like, what the hell is Foggy doing? He's trying to hook up with Karen.
Yeah, because it's basically the same time frame as Tony's book.
And he goes to a shop and homeboys in there got all these costumes. There was even a Doctor Doom costume, and he's like, I want to impress a chick,
Yeah, a little role playing.
Man, so long story short, he gets the whole costume. He looks fat in it. It's true. He doesn't fit in it. And Daredevil's Matt Murdock, Daredevil, knows what's going on. And he's like, he's making a big mistake. So
good.
Homeboy, Foggy is like trying to stage this thing where he could hook up with Karen. And I'm like, what the freak is he doing?
This would be like Jimmy Olsen dressing up as Superman to try to get with Lois.
Nice.
So we got the first appearance of Gladiator, and I'm like, what is his name? I was like reading, I'm like, well, I had to write notes now. His name is Melvin Potter. And I'm like,
Melvin is a huge character in the Daredevil universe for so long. The reason why that's such a mega great Daredevil book to pick up, almost every single run of Daredevil pulls in Melvin at some point because he helps design Daredevil's costumes for him. And when sometimes he's Daredevil's friend and helping him, other times the Kingpin will take advantage of him and force him to do things he doesn't want to do. There's lots of great back and forth with Melvin and Matt.
Yeah, I was like, what is going on? And then he's here making this Gladiator outfit. And he walks in. He's like, what are you doing here? You told me to come back at night to pick up my outfit. And then he's trying to put this outfit on to stage this fight. And he's putting it on top of his, trying to like save his clothes. And he's like, what do I do with my suit now? I've spent $100 on my suit. And then when you go through the pages, I'm trying to be gentle here. You could tell he's so overweight.
Oh, poor Foggy.
Foggy. Poor and then Foggy. Daredevil is watching. He's watching everything. He has to save him while he got knocked out. He's like laid out somewhere. And it was one of the, I just like, okay, issue 18. And
because Gladiator, he's like an engineer designer, so he's always being like that guy kind of in Batman who's building the new Batmobile or whatever. He's the guy that's building Daredevil's new gear, or bad guys hire him and he creates gear for him, which is how he sort of gets in conflict with Daredevil early on. And like No Good Comics is saying in the chat, if you want more of him, obviously he plays parts in the Frank Miller era that Justin's been reading, and Justin had a show just recently talking about a bunch of great Daredevil issues, first Elektra and stuff like that. But even into the Bendis era, they do a really good job utilizing him in the Bendis and Brubaker stuff. So Gladiator's he's a cool character. He's not as annoying as like Stilt Man or something.
So Brubaker and Bendis did that?
They used him, yeah. He at that point in the story, he's Daredevil's friend. And then there's some kind of like drug that they drug him with, and then I think Kingpin forces him to go to Daredevil's house when they find out that Daredevil is Matt Murdock and it's in the newspaper. He goes to like try to kill him. Like he goes to try to like fight him that night. And Matt is not allowed to fight back because if he does, people will know that he actually is Daredevil. He's still fighting in the court of law. So he has Jessica Jones and Luke Cage as his bodyguards fighting back for him. And even Spider-Man comes around at one point and protects him.
Yeah, and as I was reading it, he was like, "Oh man, if Spider-Man was, it was so cool, and it was so much dialogue throughout the whole comic, but it was more of them just thinking in their head, you know, what can I, especially Daredevil, Matt Murdock. Oh my God, should I tell him? No, he's already in hot water. He's just going to have to deal with it. But Foggy is like, hey Matt, if something happens to me, I'm okay. I'm like, what the heck?
I'm assuming that one is a Stan Lee writing, but is the art Kirby is still as well, or who's the artist on that one?
John Romita.
Romita, there you go. I mean, just a great early era of Daredevil is so cool.
Yeah.
But again, you get what you get with a lot of Stan Lee, which is, as much as I love his character ideas and his world building, sometimes Stan gets so caught up in like teenage love triangles that like all of his comics read the same. So I got to have the Foggy Murdoch, Karen Page love triangle. I got to have the Cyclops, Jean Grey, and all the other X-Men triangles. I've got to have the Fantastic Four. Who's Sue Storm going to end up with? Love triangle. It's kind of a repetition kind of thing that he's always into.
But man, the cool thing about it is like, all right, so you grab these old books, and there's so much to read, so much dialogue.
Yeah,
it is. It's like you can't stop reading. You know, my wife texts me. She's like, "What
Stan
are you
Lee,
doing?
yes.
Ready for your show?" I'm like, I send her a picture. I'm like, I'm reading, making notes.
Stan Lee writes a lot of dialogue, a lot of words on the page.
But it's nothing like either go like this.
You can't casually read it.
You want to flip through it.
I love we got Jaguar in the chat. He said, I heard the show would have double D's. That's so good. Oh, but yeah, I think that's something, to Justin's point though, that you were on there a second ago. I think what Miller tended to do was add a layer of realism that Stan Lee wasn't interested in, and I think Miller added this like heady, the you know, his religious faith and the weight that burden had on him, and then the villain characters were much more realistic iterations where they had demons and troubles, and you could kind of understand what they were going through. And then in the middle, you had this Elektra character who was like a love interest, but also a villainess, and so there was a lot of fun stuff that Miller basically, I think, elevated the drama.
Wasn't Karen going through some stuff during that time?
Karen became a drug addict, and her movie career turned into a porn career, and it got kind of derailed, which is the Born Again storyline that Justin's not to it yet, so I don't want to spoil get into it too much. But certainly Karen's downward spiral in the Miller, Karen really suffered in the Miller era, but it made for great story for Matt. I think, you know, the Murdoch character, I think, really had a personality that he doesn't necessarily have in some of the early books.
Yeah.
The religion thing, I think, really came through in the Miller era, like the Catholic guilt that he carries, and trying to be a man of law, but seriously working outside of the law and all that kind of stuff.
Black Swamp Comics.
He ate Luke Cage's pizza. I love it. Luke Cage, I think, is a really underrated character, and I've always loved when he and Matt interact. I think that relationship I find very interesting because they work in the same basic part of the world, and they interact with the same kind of people. But you see Matt as this, like, you know, somewhat well-off lawyer, and then Luke is this, like, I have to scrape for every dollar, hero for hire kind of type, you know.
It is something very cool, man. We got all these characters and their powers and stuff like that, but I guess us three, we could agree on that. We have a Daredevil that is pretty much handicapped. You don't see that in a lot of comic books, and that was from a lost friend a long time ago that told me that he goes, "Why you like Daredevil? He's a handicap," and you could think of the mind of Stan Lee that came up with a character like that. And here we are talking about Daredevil, and people may laugh at us because Perry is probably one of them that sees the blind guy, but damn. He gets all the hot chicks. He's a lawyer, and he can fight crime and jumping off rooftops. So it's pretty dope. And this is something that, you know, we decided to do on this random Saturday. What
happened with the Gladiator?
So how did the issue end? Is it like next week that you got to read the next issue to see what happens?
No, our freaking Daredevil had to jump in because Homeboy was knocked out. He got punched.
Foggy got put down.
Yeah, he got put down, and what's her face had to jump in a taxi, and she's like, "Take me to to the office, and Daredevil had to fix up everything. And Daredevil's like, well Matt is like, I don't know what to do now. I don't know what to do with Foggy, So, yeah,
Awesome.
it was a good read. I mean, if I had to pick up an issue of Daredevil and read, man, issue 18 was a good starting point.
Nice.
But we're hanging out with the guys right now in the chat. We just want to say hello to you guys. Man, we're pushing close to an hour. He was in a Netflix show.
Yeah, well. I think the Gladiator appeared in the Netflix Daredevil at some point.
He made his he made the suit.
Yeah, he made the suit that he ended up having in the end. Yeah. But he didn't have I don't remember him having the buzzsaw blades on his arms or anything. I can't remember what his gear looked like. He was just badass. Should I open the box here?
I guess so, John. I mean, just
it's not an action figure. I'm not gonna open another action figure box. I'll only do that to you the one time.
Hope I sent you the right one.
So this came from Old Wolf. He helped me snag a book that I was looking for. I'm gonna open it with my Hoarder's Hide. He sent me one of these blades here. Let's see if I can. I want to poke myself with it.
You're gonna cut yourself.
Yeah, right. He sent me one of these. Thank you to Scott, Hoarder's Hide. I also love Tony. Clearly loves the blue tape. The man uses a ton of it. We've talked about it a lot. He's a big blue tape fan.
So not on the back of the board. Not these. I use.
Should I fix that for you? I'll fix that on the book when I open it here. It's all right. I got blue tape. I can do it for you.
Yeah, it's your book. You can do whatever you want.
Oh yes, this is absolutely the one. So. I found out about this variant after the book came out. I already got cover A, and then apparently there was a Chip Zdarsky cover B for the final issue of Daredevil with by Zdarsky.
Oh, here it is. I know.
Yep. So this is the Chip Zdarsky. Is it the B cover? Yeah, the B cover for the final issue of Daredevil that he wrote, and so cool. And so thank you, Tony. My shop didn't have any. In fact, my shop didn't even know about it, so I don't think they even got any.
No problem.
They got some other variants instead, but this cover is fire. It's just absolutely amazing. I don't need the blue tape. This is a self-sealing bag. Look at that, Tony. Oh, fancy. But yeah, thank you so much.
Now you guys read it. I read it, but I was kind of at work reading it. Your thoughts at the end. What are your thoughts at the end? Because I was.
Well, we're not going to spoil anything because it's been out for a little while.
I mean, for those that were curious, kind of like what was going on, the final season final issues of Daredevil really crossed over with what Punisher was going through, and this idea of being manipulated by, I guess you could say, demons from below. Mm-hmm. And so ultimately, when that Punisher story kind of wrapped. It left Matt Murdock having to travel to the underworld and confront these demon entities. This issue takes place kind of after that. It's more of an epilogue than anything else because the story kind of climaxed in issue 13, and then issue 14 is more of a now where is everybody? Where did this world end up as far as Karen and those other heroes? Detective North and Foggy. Where did they all end up? And where's Matt? And where could Matt be? So it just sort of is. It felt slower, but it was a much needed wrap up to
he needed to close it. So
yeah. So in that way, it's not an action packed issue. 13 and 12 have a lot more action, and you can get all that stuff. But then 14 is kind of the epilogue.
All right, man.
So all right. So what do you think about the ending?
Rob,
that's what are you talking about? The last issue?
Yeah. How it all wrapped up. Were you happy with how Zdarsky finished it? Did it feel good to you?
I was just like, that's why I was asking you. I was just like,
One of my favorite things about Rod is he does not like to do reviews. So if you force him to do a review, he's always going to put it back on you. He's like, I was asking you. You tell me.
So, Rod, is that Matt Murdock at the end?
Yes. This book that I read was probably one of the best Daredevil books I ever read.
The one with the Gladiator, or the 14th?
Gladiator.
The Gladiator.
It was way better than that.
Oh,
I got
because I think Tony's asking about this. How did you feel about how Zdarsky ended? How did you feel? Do you think that was Matt Murdock that we saw kind of mysteriously at the end in the church?
I thought it was okay. I was expecting a lot more. That's why I need to go back and read it. I was asking for your opinion. I don't know. It was, again, I was at work reading it and going back and forth. So, I don't know. I was just like expecting a little bit more. Chip Zdarsky's, done with it, and I'm like, okay, this is what we're going to get. So,
what about you, Tony?
I mean, they are bringing out another book, right?
Yeah.
Right. So I assume it has to be him. But the thing is, he doesn't realize does he? I mean, he's not talking like he knows.
He seems to be on a different path. That's for sure.
So just let's see how that ends up.
I'm assuming that any next volume for Daredevil is going to be Elektra focused and Matt as a background character, perhaps.
Probably, yeah. She's now the new Daredevil.
Because she definitely earned that moniker through Zdarsky's run.
Right.
She's a badass Daredevil.
And she still has that. She still take care of that girl, right? That
I believe so.
Yeah. So that'll have to play. Maybe she'll be. I think Daredevil is Marvel's Batman, and you can tell the variety of stories with him, with she, that type of thing. Is that girl going to be maybe a Robin type of character for?
I saw it as the other way around. I saw her as being the primary Daredevil, and he's going to be the priest that she goes to, like Daredevil used to go to that one nun to get advice, or that one priest to get advice, right?
That was his mother. But
so I think that story kind of is now going to be inverted, and you're going to be able to use Daredevil as the one. Matt Murdock's going to be the priest giving advice, and she's going to be the superhero out on the street.
Yeah, but what I'm thinking is the girl that she's taking care of, that she was trying to fight,
the little kid,
all that stuff.
Yeah. It could be. I mean, she's certainly training her like her father trained her, and the way Stick trained all of them. I think she's definitely giving that kid the defense mechanism skills or whatever.
So make sure you get the first appearance off the last series, because
when did she? I don't even remember what issue she appeared in. It was quite a ways back though, wasn't it? Like 8 or 9? In the current run. Because it was part of that time when they were training to be the Fist, right?
Right.
Yeah, I can't remember now.
We got
over here.
Midnight right in the house. What is going on? And Glitter is still hanging out with us, saying hello to Midnight. Just here talking about some Daredevil books, random books we pulled out from the box. And we're just talking about it, hanging out with the chat right now. You guys have read any Daredevil books and you want to talk about it, want to hang out one day, let us know. You can reach out to John Comics with Kids, Old Wolf, myself. And, we just lay back and chill like Matt Murdock is doing right now. And, that's what we're doing. Chilling.
Actually, this is my son's chair. Look at this thing.
Ooh.
Wow.
I know. He's like this all the time in it.
You know what? I got that switch too. Let me. Oh, nope, that's going down. That didn't work out.
He went all the way down.
This one? Nope, that's not that one. It's this one.
Well, the wife's home.
Well,
nope,
that means we got to get out of here, man.
Yep, Tony's in trouble after last night.
Guarantee you're gonna hear one, because guarantee you're gonna hear it.
All right,
well, Rob, thanks for hosting us, brother.
Thanks for hanging out with us right now, comic book community, hanging out with the
Three Blind Mice
book club for Daredevil, man. And I'm your boy Rod the Rican. We got John Comics for Kids. We got the sipping Old Wood 65 in the house. I'll give them a few seconds to let them say what they want to say, and we'll do that right now.
Let the people know. That's what Rod always says, right? Let the people know. Let's see. I skipped my morning show because I knew I was going to be sipping and hanging with you guys, so I did not do my morning show today. But I just did a Ted Lasso discussion on mental health last week. So if you guys want to check that out, definitely worth the time. And I've been dropping a lot of reels on Instagram, and I'll try to put more of those on YouTube. Been a little lazy about it, but I hope to get that done. I do have hopefully another Ted Lasso coming up in the next week, and then some great charity stuff happening over the next month. Some stuff for Comics Curing Cancer, events for friends who are dealing with cancers. Lots of good things to be involved with over the next month.
All right, my wife's locked out of the house, so I got to do this real quick.
You'll love it.
I got the Thursday the train wreck every at 7:00. Sundays we were on JP's channel. We're doing the D&D. I had some books cleaned. They're in this box. Just got it today.
You didn't cover your address.
I don't care. As long as I'm not giving someone else's address.
He's covering somebody else's address up.
I don't care. I'm in the book anyways. If you want to hunt me down, you can. Anyways,
I love it.
So I'm gonna be opening that up. That's about it.
Thank you, Crystal. Right. She's dropping the links for Tony and me. That's much appreciated.
Thank you. I'm on the road to 1,000.
I'm on the road to 10,000. So
there you go.
Yeah.
I'm on the road to 100 under 1,000.
There you go. There you go. All right, I gotta go.
All right, gang. Thanks for hanging out on this blind Daredevil book club, man. We're hanging out right now. We out of here. Stay tuned to the next one. Who knows when it's going to happen? But we out of here. As always, stay classy, comic book community. Later.
Subscribe now.